Therapists of Reddit, what's your biggest I know I'm not supposed to judge you, but holy moments? This one's gonna be crazy. What's up, guys? Chopped Up Reads, hoping that you're back for another video of Reddit Reads, where we're gonna go through a Reddit thread and find some of the more crazier ones or some of the more funnier ones. Unfortunately, a lot of these are not gonna be that funny. I was hoping they would, but damn, are therapists good at their job, so they only judge the really fucked up shit. But I got like a funny one or two, maybe just one. But with all that being said, let's jump into it. I work at a residential group home. We had a kid who we had admitted about 4 months prior, when in a family session, they mentioned they had parasites. I'm like, what? Mom goes, oh yeah, our whole family has them. We don't believe in getting rid of them since they're part of our biological ecosystem. Yo, what the fuck? Sorry, I had to throw that in there. And I'm just dumbstruck. We spent 3 weeks afterwards convincing this family that it was an infectious disease and it concerns other residents because they have fecal eating behaviors and various other unsanitary issues that could cause a unit spread. 3 weeks of education, planning, and worst of all, convincing this kid and mother that their IQ wouldn't drop because they had agreed to eradicate the parasites. Lots of CBT work, but Jesus, it took way longer than any of the team expected. That's crazy. They're talking about worms right there. They're definitely talking about worms because it's in their feces. You're just like giving worms to your kids and their kids and their kids, and you're like, no, we've had those worms for 5 generations. Jimmy, what are you talking about? No. But enough thinking of that because I'm gonna get an aneurysm. Let's move on. Here's my most recent one. As the pandemic worsened here in the US and more lockdowns are on their way, one of my most extroverted clients and I brainstormed ways to meet her social needs while remaining safe. The following week, she canceled her session and told me she's positive for COVID after attending an orgy, which definitely wasn't one of our ideas. I let out the deepest, most defeated sigh after I hung up the phone. Brother, I would have let it out before I hung up the phone. You're telling me we were discussing you FaceTiming the homies, and you're gonna call in the next session and cancel because you attended an orgy? Get it in where you can, playa. I have no right to judge. I joined in a review of a secluded patient and he threw a cup of wee and poo in my face when we opened the door. I tried to be objective about his experience, but I just thought, what a I work in inpatient services, so it can be hard to challenge myself at times. Individuals with diagnosis of personality disorder, for example, can do things that in isolation make you think that they're just being bratty or manipulative, but to think of the experiences that shaped them to react like that in a given situation can help to clear my judgment and find compassion. Harder when somebody bites me or hits me with one of our fabulously detachable anti-ligature curtain poles, though. This is why I can't be a therapist. 'Cause I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I know what I'm about to say just, might be a little unhinged. I'd beat the living hell out of anyone who threw a cup of wee and poo in my face. Excuse me? If you spit in my face, you're probably getting an ass beating. But to throw a cup of piss and shit at me? Brother, you're getting your ass beat harder than Tarzan was at the beginning of that movie. When those monkeys whooping his ass. Ooh! When I was underage, I got caught with a drink on Bourbon Street and got a minor in possession. I was telling my therapist about it and said that the police caught me with a hand grenade in New Orleans. He didn't realize that a hand grenade was a type of drink, and it was funny to watch him try to process that his patient might have just casually told him that he had been caught with a fragmentation grenade. He took a big, long pause and said, "Where did you even find a grenade?" I realized the misunderstanding quickly and corrected him, but for a moment, he definitely was thinking, "Holy shit, how do I deal with this?" I didn't know it was a drink either. I too would have been like, "What armory did you break into?" Alright, and this is gonna be my last one for the day because I found a good couple of funny ones, patting myself on the shoulder here. These were about all there were. I scrolled for like a good bit and, but this one is by far my favorite. Child therapist here. I had a mother report that her child was having bathroom accidents suddenly and at home only. He's a 9-year-old boy with no history of bathroom accidents or trauma in the past. Training tells us this could be a variety of things such as abuse, neglect, anxiety, PTSD, etc. Until I spoke with his in-home behavioral specialist, a clinician that helps behavioral mental health issues inside the home to create healthy family routines to cope. She called me and told me the real story. The boy was becoming very angry and spiteful with his parents for making him go back to school after full COVID quarantine had been lifted. He went into their bathroom, took his mother's robe, took a giant dump on it, and hung it back up. He also peed inside her dresser drawer. I'm not gonna lie, my jaw was dropped when I hung up the phone. I then laughed so hard I nearly fell out of my desk chair. Me and you both. Me and you both. Because, wow, I was not expecting it to take that turn when I first read it. I thought I was gonna have to skip through this one because it was gonna be way too much to read on a YouTube video. But wow, he did not want to go back to school. Luckily, I graduated the year of COVID, so I didn't have to go back after the restrictions were lifted. So, yay me, I guess. But with all of that being said, and the video being over now, I ask that if you liked it, let me know. Hit that like button. If you have any stories that you want to share, I guess the more popular one would be a time where you felt a therapist judged you. Let me know down in the comments below, and man, hit that subscribe bell, man. I'm trying to hit 200 now. My goal has shifted after hitting 100, which thank you all so much for. But I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.